Alright guys, so I'm outside and I'm getting ready to prepare my cell packs to plant my seeds. I've been watering plants, picked some dino kale, I picked a couple radishes, and one of the joys of living in Florida that I wanted to show you. Now I'm in my backyard and I'll show you there's some work that needs to be done. But it's a work in progress as always, as I'm sure it is with many of you. Alright, things aren't perfect all the time. So, let me show you. Let me flip it around. That back here that's growing along the fence that you can see has orange flowers on it. I guess that was planted by a previous owner. It's called Cape honeysuckle. I thought it was a wild plant, like a weed. It kind of vines and wants to grow up trees and obviously up fences. They actually sell it at the local plant nursery. So, I guess that some people like it. I see it as pretty, like, almost invasive. I have to keep, like, continuously all the time cutting it back, mowing it down. It'll grow along, the ground and put out roots and everything. So anyway, it's a mess. But you can see I have some kale. I have my pepper plants that I'm overwintering here. So this is my poblano. It's kind of tall and linky, but it's kicking. You can see all the blooms on it, and it has a couple peppers on it. And then these two, I had the tags for them, but the rain and sun has faded my labels. So I know that one of these is a habanero and one of them is a mystery pepper. I can't remember what it is. I know I got it at the local plant nursery this fall. And then these two are both some type of bell peppers. And they're also blooming. And again, yeah, this is mid-January, and we've had lows around freezing, just above freezing. There's been a tiny bit of frost damage on these, but not much. So they're in kind of a protected area, have a big oak tree, and then the heat radiates at night from the concrete. So they've done pretty well. There are a couple little peppers beginning to grow on the bell peppers. All right. So anyway, what I wanted to show you is this. It looks like a dead lizard. Might be a dead lizard. It might be a overwintering lizard. Gross, gross. One time I put on a pair of my garden gloves and a lizard was nestled in between the two gloves. And so basically when I put the gloves on, it was like in the palm of my hand. So freaked me out. I'm just going to move this to see if it moves. If it doesn't move, oh, yeah, it's alive, it moved. So I'm just gonna encourage it to go overwinter elsewhere. Yeah, go away. Back from the dead. There we go. All right, and it's off. All right, just wanted to show you a couple more radishes that I picked today. So I need to plant some more to replace these as well, but these will store well in the refrigerator for me to put on salads. You could also use them to garnish tacos, tostadas, different things like that. So you could even put them like as a garnish on top of Mexican soups like pozole. The way that I store them, when I take them in the house, I'm going to give them a good rinse. I'm going to cut, you can see the taproot. I'm going to break off the taproot but leave a little bit on, like I guess about, I don't know, half an inch or less. Just leave some of it on. Don't cut it completely off. And then when I take the leaves off, I'm going to give the leaves to my friend with the chickens to feed to her chickens so that they can enjoy these radish greens. You could put them in a salad. And then for the tops, I leave the stems on. So I'll cut them to about this long just to leave the tops of the stems. That's the best way that they've stored for me. I made the mistake in the past of like completely cleaning them and cutting off the top and bottom of the radish. They're not going to store very long if you do that. So if you want to keep them in the refrigerator longer, you can use that tip to help you out. This is some dino kale that I've been growing for about 3 years. So I just side crop it where I harvest the leaves from the side and allow it to keep growing. It grows through the winter and summer here, but tastes better when it's cold. So I usually leave it alone during the summer and then harvest it during the cool months. So I'm going to be making some Italian soup for dinner later, so I'm going to go ahead and pick some of this dino or lacinato kale. Okay, so I just wanted to show you the dino kale that I harvested to put in the soup that I'm making for dinner. So you can see I harvested a handful, a big handful of it. I have to go through it and clean it and sort it, but like that leaf right there I'm going to get rid of. But I picked it in the middle of the day, even though it's cool. It's in the 50s here in Northeast Florida. You know, the sun's shining, so it's a little bit droopy, but once I get it cleaned and get it in some cool water, it'll crisp right back up and be perfect in the soup that I'm going to make. Alright, so you can see how I have the kale soaking in water. Now I've already given it a good rinse. Like I put it in the sink, filled the sink up with water, moved it around, you know, shook up a lot of the dirt that was off of it. I've already drained that, rinsed it again with the kitchen hose, with the sink hose. And when I was doing that, a spider came out. That's okay. Spiders are good in the garden. I just don't want it on me or in my house. So spiders, bye-bye. And I have filled it up again. So this is the second time that I've filled it up with water to let it soak. And then the dirt will fall to the bottom of the sink. You can see there's a little bit, you know. So I'll pick it up, drain, and do that a couple more times. Make sure you get all the dirt off from any of the little crevices in the leaves. That is a nice, you can see what a, you know, rich green color, dark green color. So there's all kinds of good stuff in there. Vitamins, minerals, phytonutrients.